You've probably heard the old phrase, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And while there's definitely some truth in that, it's not about playing childish games. Today, we're diving into 15 deep psychological principles that can actually make a woman pursue you, not because you're being cold or dismissive, but because you understand how and when to give space the right way. Ignoring her doesn't mean shutting her out. It means knowing how to create just enough distance to spark interest and desire. So let's break it down, step by step. 1. Maintain a balanced life. One of the most powerful ways to make a woman chase you, without games or manipulation, is by maintaining a well-balanced, fulfilling life. This means focusing on your goals, your passions, and your happiness. When a man has a life he genuinely enjoys, it becomes magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men who are centered, independent, and passionate about what they do. So when you're giving her space or not texting constantly, it shouldn't feel forced. It should be because you're genuinely busy doing things that matter to you. This approach communicates something vital. You're not desperate for attention. You're not dropping everything just to get a reply from her. Instead, you're living fully, and that's incredibly attractive. It sends the message that she can either be part of your world or not, but you're going to keep moving forward regardless. The truth is, no one wants to feel like they're the only reason someone is happy. That kind of emotional pressure is a turnoff. But when she sees that your joy, energy, and ambition come from within, not from her validation, it makes her want to be closer to you. It sparks curiosity and admiration, and more often than not, she'll start wondering what makes you tick, what drives you, and why your vibe feels different from the rest. That's when the chase begins. 2. Display confidence. Confidence isn't about walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking in without the need to compare yourself to anyone. A confident man knows his worth, and he doesn't look for validation to feel good about himself. That's powerful and attractive. When it comes to ignoring a woman the right way, confidence plays a major role. You're not ignoring her to make her feel unwanted. You're simply not chasing because you know you bring value to the table. You don't need to text her 10 times a day to prove you're interested. You don't need to constantly check if she's thinking about you. You trust yourself, your presence, and what you offer. That quiet self-assurance is what makes her take notice. Women are naturally drawn to men who are secure in themselves, not arrogant, not boastful, just grounded and composed. Confidence also shows through how you handle rejection, setbacks, or distance. You don't panic. You stay calm, knowing the right person will value you without you needing to beg for attention. So, when you give her space, do it with grace and confidence. Don't rush to fill the silence. Let her feel the absence of your attention, and she just might start chasing the confidence that sets you apart. 3. Value your time. Time is one of your most valuable assets, and how you use it tells people what's important to you. If you constantly drop everything to respond to her texts, or rearrange your entire day just to meet up when she calls, you're sending the message that your time isn't worth much. That kind of behavior can actually decrease your perceived value, no matter how well-intentioned it is. A high-value man respects his time and schedules. He knows that not every message needs an instant reply. So, when you don't answer right away, it's not about playing games. It's about setting healthy boundaries. It shows her that you're not sitting around waiting for her approval, and that you've got things going on in your life that matter. This doesn't mean ignoring her on purpose to manipulate her. It means prioritizing your goals, routines, and self-respect. When she sees that you're not always immediately available, it sends a signal that your life is full and purposeful. And guess what? That makes you more intriguing. It might even make her wonder what you're up to and why you're not chasing like the rest. Ultimately, valuing your time teaches others to value it too. And when she realizes that your attention is earned, not freely given 24/7, it naturally creates a sense of curiosity and desire. That's when she starts to chase. 4. Be independent. Independence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. When a woman sees that you're living your life with confidence and purpose, without needing her to validate you, it triggers something deep within her. It shows her that you're strong on your own and that she's not your only source of happiness. Being independent means having your own goals, interests, and friendships. It means you're not looking for someone to complete you, you're already whole. And that's powerful. When you're not constantly trying to be in her orbit, it gives her space to wonder what's going on in your world. That distance can actually spark more interest than always being around. A lot of guys make the mistake of thinking that being close 24/7 shows care, but sometimes being too available backfires. Independence, on the other hand, says, I care, but I also have things to do. It communicates strength, maturity, and emotional stability. So when you give her space, make sure it's because you're genuinely focused on your own growth, your projects, your health, or your passions. She'll start to see you as a man who doesn't cling, who doesn't chase, and who definitely doesn't need constant attention to feel valuable. That kind of energy pulls her in and keeps her thinking about you even when you're not around. 5. Demonstrate high value. Being a high-value man isn't about flashing wealth or showing off material possessions. It's about the way you carry yourself, your principles, and how much you respect yourself and others. A man with high value knows his worth and he never begs for attention. That's what makes him stand out. When you ignore a woman from this mindset, it's not to make her feel rejected. It's to let her see that you're not easily won over. You're not chasing because you've got a life full of purpose and direction. That energy tells her you're selective, you've got standards, and you're not just giving away your presence for free. High value is in the details. It's in how you treat people, how you speak about your goals, and how you stay consistent with your values even when it's not convenient. And when she notices that, it makes her want to be a part of your world. So when you're not always available, it's not about playing hard to get. It's about protecting your time and energy. It's about showing her that your attention is something she has to earn. And that kind of self-respect naturally attracts the kind of woman who values quality over quantity. She'll chase because she sees that you're rare, and rare is worth pursuing. 6. Show emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is a trait that often goes underrated, but it's one of the strongest foundations for genuine attraction. When a woman sees that you can handle tough conversations, setbacks, or distance without falling apart, it tells her you're a man worth chasing. Ignoring her in the right way isn't about silent treatment or mind games. It's about responding to situations with calm, reason, and clarity. You don't explode when she doesn't reply right away. You don't become cold or passive-aggressive. Instead, you hold your frame. You understand your emotions, but you don't let them control your actions. This level of self-awareness is rare, and that's why it stands out. Women want someone who's in control, not just of their schedule or goals, but of their emotions too. When you give her space and continue living your life without needing to prove a point, it tells her you're emotionally secure. This maturity also shows in how you handle disagreements. You listen, you reflect, and you speak with purpose instead of reacting impulsively. That kind of behavior builds trust, even in silence. It makes her realize that being with you won't be a roller coaster. It will be a grounded, steady experience. And in a world full of emotional chaos, that's something she'll want to chase. 7. Be unpredictable. Predictability kills mystery, and mystery is a powerful part of attraction. When she can predict your every move, text, or response, it's easy for her to lose interest. But when you're a little unpredictable, she stays curious. She starts thinking about you more, wondering what's next, and that curiosity drives her to chase. Now, let's be clear. Being unpredictable doesn't mean being inconsistent or unreliable. It means you don't always act how she expects. Maybe one day you initiate a deep conversation, and the next you're focused on your goals and give her space. Maybe you plan a date that surprises her. Or you take a step back and let her come to you. It's about keeping her guessing, not because you're playing games, but because your life isn't revolving around her. You've got your own flow, your own plans, your own priorities. And that unpredictability creates intrigue. Women don't want a man they can read like a script. They want to feel something, that sense of, what's he thinking? Or, Why isn't he chasing like the others? That emotional tension is what makes her lean in. So don't always show your cards. Keep a little mystery, let her wonder. That's how you stay on her mind even when you're not around. And that's when she starts to do the chasing. 8. Control the frame. In any interaction, whether it's with a friend, a stranger, or a woman you're interested in, there's always a frame. It's the unspoken tone of the interaction. Whoever controls the frame sets the emotional atmosphere, and the man who can hold his frame without folding is the one who earns respect. When you give her space, you're not losing control, you're keeping it. You're showing that you're not desperate for validation. You're not reacting emotionally, you're calmly living your life while allowing her to come to you. That's how you control the frame, by not letting her dictate your emotions or behaviors. If she pulls away, you don't chase. If she tests you, you don't overreact. You stay grounded. That's power. That's leadership. And women feel safe and drawn to that kind of energy. Holding the frame doesn't mean being cold or aloof. It means staying emotionally steady. If she's unsure or distant, your reaction isn't panic. It's patience. You let her feel the silence, not as punishment, but as clarity. You're not there to be a puppet to her moods. You're the man who leads with calm and certainty. And when she sees that she can't shake your composure, she starts to respect you more. She leans in. Because you're not just any man, you're a man who owns the moment. And that's someone worth chasing. 9. Focus on your purpose. One of the most powerful things a man can do is lock in on his purpose. That mission, that vision, that reason to get out of bed and chase something bigger than comfort or attention. When a man is on his path, everything else starts to align, including attraction. See, women are drawn to men who have drive. A man who's building something, improving, pushing himself forward. He gives off a different energy. It's magnetic. And when you give a woman space because you're focused on your goals, it doesn't push her away. It pulls her in. She sees you're not a boy looking for someone to complete him. You're a man building something real. You're not ignoring her to manipulate, you're simply busy doing what matters. That's attractive. That's rare. Purpose gives your life direction and meaning. It also keeps you grounded when things get emotional or uncertain. If she's distant, you don't spiral. You get back to work. If she pulls back, you don't chase. You keep building. And here's the twist. When she sees that your purpose always comes first, she'll start trying to fit into your world. That's when the dynamic shifts. That's when she starts chasing, because she doesn't want to be left behind by a man who's clearly going somewhere. 10. Let her feel your absence. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking that constantly being present equals affection. But real attraction often grows in the silence, in the absence. When you're always around, always texting, always calling, she doesn't get the chance to miss you. There's no space for desire to build. Letting her feel your absence isn't about ghosting or punishing her. It's about creating emotional contrast. It's in the quiet moments that she starts to reflect. She thinks about the conversations, the energy you brought, the way you made her feel. And that emotional reflection is powerful. Distance creates value. If she never has to wonder where you are or what you're doing, she'll start taking you for granted. But when you step back, she starts asking, why isn't he calling? What's he up to? That curiosity can trigger desire. You want to be the man who isn't afraid to walk away, who doesn't need constant reassurance. When you're gone, your presence should still echo. That's the kind of absence that draws her back. Not because you begged, but because she missed what you brought into her life. So don't fear the silence. Embrace it, use it. Let her feel the shift, and watch how she starts moving toward you again. Not because you chased, but because you finally gave her space to realize what she lost. 11. Keep your emotions in check. There's nothing wrong with having emotions. Real strength isn't in suppressing them, it's in mastering them. When a woman pulls back or acts cold, the average guy panics. He overreacts, sends 10 messages, and loses his cool. But the man who can keep his emotions in check, that man stands out. Keeping your emotions balanced during space is crucial. If she goes silent and you explode with neediness or anger, you're handing her the power. But if you stay calm, composed, and unfazed, you show her that your emotional world isn't dependent on her behavior. That's incredibly attractive. She'll test you. She might pull away just to see if you'll chase. But when you don't, when you stay grounded and focus on your life, that gets her attention. It shows her that you're emotionally mature and that you're not easily shaken. So breathe. Don't react. Let her sit in the silence. You're not cold. You're just in control. And that calm masculine energy is rare. When she sees that you can handle distance without falling apart, it separates you from the crowd. It tells her you're not a boy looking for attention. You're a man with emotional discipline, and that's the kind of man she'll respect and eventually chase. 12. Don't respond to manipulation. Some women will use silence, jealousy games, or emotional tactics to get a reaction. Not because they're cruel, but because they want to test your strength. They want to know, can this man be moved like the others? Will he fold under pressure? Most guys do, but you don't have to. When you sense manipulation, whether it's hot and cold behavior, delayed replies, or subtle digs, the best response is no reaction. Not anger, not chasing, not proving yourself. Just calm detachment. You recognize the game and choose not to play it. You see, when you don't feed manipulation with emotional energy, it dies. It loses its power. And more importantly, you show her that your sense of self isn't easily disrupted. That's when her respect for you starts to grow. A high-value man doesn't chase approval or beg for affection. He doesn't get pulled into emotional tug-of-war. He holds the line. He sees through the drama and remains unmoved. So when she tries to provoke you, don't play along. Keep living, keep building, keep moving forward. That quiet refusal to engage sends a clear message. I don't need to fight for your attention. I am the prize. And that shift, that's when she starts chasing. 13. Speak with your actions, not just your words. A lot of men talk a good game. They say the right things, send sweet texts, and make promises. But a high-value man, he understands that words are cheap. It's action that speaks the loudest, especially when you're giving a woman space. When you step back, it's not about announcing it or making a dramatic scene. You don't tell her, I'm giving you space now, like you're expecting her to applaud you. You just do it, quietly, calmly, confidently, and she notices. Your absence is an action. Your silence is an action. The fact that you didn't double text her or beg for her attention, that speaks louder than any clever line you could have typed out. Women are highly intuitive. They don't just listen, they observe. And when your actions show self-respect, confidence, and emotional strength, that has a deep impact. So if you want her to chase, stop trying to convince her with words. Let your behavior do the talking. Let her feel your growth. Let her watch you stay composed, focused, and unavailable to games. Eventually, the silence will start to echo in her mind. The way you respected yourself will stand out. She'll realize that you're not like the rest, and that's what gets her attention. That's when she starts chasing. Not because of what you said, but because of who you showed her you are. 14. Let her come to you. Most guys get anxious during distance. They can't handle the uncertainty, so they break the silence. Reach out first and try to fix the situation. But what they don't realize is, every time you chase, you rob her of the chance to miss you. When you've given a woman space, the most powerful thing you can do is wait, not with bitterness, not with impatience, but with quiet strength. Because when she starts to feel your absence, when she begins to wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, that's when the tables turn. Let her come to you. Let her be the one who reopens the door. If she reaches out, that's her choosing to reconnect. And when she does, don't punish her for the silence, but don't jump into her arms either. Stay centered, stay grounded. Make her earn that reconnection. The truth is, if she truly values you, she will reach out. Women don't lose someone they see as valuable without making some kind of effort. But they won't feel the need to do that if you're always filling the gap. So don't panic, don't press. Let her feel the contrast. Let her feel your absence and choose you again. That's when the dynamic shifts. That's when she starts chasing, not because you forced it, but because she genuinely feels the need to close the distance. On her own. 15. Stay a mystery. In a world where everyone overshares and overexplains, mystery is a rare and powerful trait. When you give a woman space and disappear from her radar for a while, she starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, what you're thinking. And that curiosity builds emotional momentum. You don't need to post every detail of your life online or send constant updates to stay relevant. In fact, the less she knows, the more she thinks. And the more she thinks, the more emotionally invested she becomes. Mystery doesn't mean being distant or fake, it means holding something back. Keeping a piece of yourself protected, you don't spill your every thought. You don't explain every decision. You let her experience you bit by bit instead of overwhelming her all at once. And when you give her space during that mystery, it amplifies the effect. You become a question mark in her mind. And human beings are wired to seek answers. She'll start reaching out not just because she misses you, but because she wants to solve the puzzle. She wants to know more. So keep some things to yourself. Stay unpredictable. Let her discover you slowly, because when she realizes she can't figure you out like all the others, that's when she starts chasing, not out of obligation, but out of fascination. Here's the truth, brother. When you give a woman space, you're not just stepping back from her, you're stepping back into yourself. Most men panic when a woman pulls away. They chase, they beg, they try to explain or fix things. But a high-value man, he does the opposite. He sees space as power, as leverage, as an opportunity to remind her and himself of who he truly is. Because here's what you now know. Distance doesn't kill attraction. Weakness does. Neediness does. But strength, silence, self-respect, that's what creates mystery. That's what sparks desire. That's what makes her feel your absence in a way that no text message ever could. You don't chase, you don't explain, you don't apologize for giving her the space she needs. You honor it, you grow in it. You let her feel what life is like without your energy in it. And when she feels that shift, when she sees you're not like the rest, she will notice, she will wonder, and eventually, she will come back. Not because you begged, not because you played games, but because you became the man that no woman wants to lose. So stand tall. Don't fold. Don't flinch. Let her come to you. Because a man who knows his worth never has to chase it.